Good morning, everyone. So this is a early broadcast, but here's why. I wanted to share with you my morning routine, and what better time to do that than in the morning, right? As I'm doing it. So, first of all, I had taken a poll last week on like if anybody was interested in learning my routine, and there were quite a few people who actually said yes. So, that's why I want to share this with you guys. And because from my own personal experience, I've learned that morning routines can have a massive, you know, uh, dictation on what happens the rest of your day. Probably not the right words, but you know what I'm saying. So here's why. Whenever you wake up in the morning, like your immediate thoughts, they kind of frame the rest of your day. And if we are not putting ourselves into a routine and we're just waking up to Facebook notifications, to the news, to people yelling, whatever, like, and we don't have something to plug ourselves into immediately, like, then we have no control over it, right? And we're kind of just in absorption mode instead of what we need to be in, So training mode of training what we want our day to be like. So, as I'll be honest with you, my morning routine has not stuck. Like over the last couple of years, I've really tried to implement some things, and it never really stuck until about probably January this year. And since then, it's been like consistent, and I'm getting results. So I'm going to keep being resistant. So this is why it's so important. And again, you guys know I always do things a while before I share them with you guys to test them out and whatnot. So this is why I want to share this with you guys, because I know it's effective. And just to give you guys some ideas if maybe you really don't have a morning routine and you're looking to implement some effective things. So that's a little bit about why morning routines are so important. And again, I can't stress enough. Don't wake up and check Facebook. Don't wake up and turn the news on. Like that is like detrimental, not only to your mental health, but to, again, how the rest of your mood is for the rest of the day. And whenever we wake up like that, we are not waking up as leaders. We are waking up as followers. And whether you're in business for yourself or not, it doesn't matter. You need to lead yourself, right? And you might have a family, things like that. Like you're still a leader in some aspect. So we want to make this as effective as possible for everybody involved. So for me, I own my own business. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have to like have a hold on myself. If I don't, then everything's not going to go so well, right? So we don't want that. And then two, parents know your kids play off of your moods. They feed off of what you're feeling and thinking and things like that. So if we're in a good mood, there's a better chance that our tiny humans are also going to be in a good mood, which makes better for everybody, right? Okay, so let me start off just by backtracking just a little bit and telling you that the best way to prepare for your morning is the night before. So the first thing I do is whenever I get in bed or before I get in bed, whatever, I write down everything that's on my mind. And I am that person that has like 50 tabs open at once. So if I do not get this out of my brain, I will not sleep well. So I write down everything that is going on in my mind, all the ideas I have, things of that sort, and just get it out on paper. And so then I don't have to worry about it because it'll be right there when I wake up in the morning. The second thing I do is this is from Catherine Zankina, Manifestation Babe. If you don't know her, follow her. She shared her morning routine, and I adopted this part from her, where at night she kind of goes into the 3 wins that she had that day. So the 3 wins that you have that day, and only focus on that. And then if there's something that you kind of need help with, or you're like trying to figure out, ask yourself that question and plant that in your subconscious before you go to bed, and chances are you're going to wake up with an answer. Okay, so this is why I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning with tons of things, ideas in my head. And if I don't write them down, then I'll forget, right? So, and then I take a Serenity soft gel. And I do this because I thrive on like 6 to 7 hours of sleep, to be honest. Anything longer than that, I really feel kind of groggy. But whenever I take a Serenity soft gel, it's not like a sleeping pill where you just kind of like don't remember anything. It's just basically a lot of lavender and it just relaxes your body and you get that deep sleep that you need no matter how long you're sleeping. So whenever I do this, I wake up before my alarm every single time, which is amazing. So then whenever I wake up, like I said, I usually wake up before my alarm, but I like waking up before the rest of the world. I like giving myself that time. And a lot of times, you know, as parents or wives or just people in general who have a lot of things going on, we say, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to pour into myself. You do because you create it. So whenever I needed more time for myself, I just woke up earlier because I needed it, right? And I created it. That was the time that was available, and that's what I did. So I set my alarm for, actually it goes off at usually like 4:44 a.m. or like 5:15, one of the two, whatever. If my husband has to get up early, it's always 4:44. So, and again, angel numbers, if you're not familiar. And if not, then I set mine for 5:15. And sometimes I'm up before that. Sometimes I'm up at 4:30. Sometimes I'm up at 5. Like I'm always up before it goes off, usually. So I do that. Whenever I wake up, I just, as soon as my alarm goes off, I set it across the room so that I have to get up and do it. Because this is the crucial time that decides how your day's going to go. Are you going to fall right back into bed, or are you going to actually stay awake? Right? And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been guilty of this many, many times where I have just fell right back into bed and then I feel like crap. So I kind of gave that up. So whenever you are setting yourself up for success, basically a successful morning, and you put your phone across the room, that requires you to get up, right? And that requires you to move and get moving so that you're more likely to stay up. Now, whenever I do that, I get up, I go over and I shut it off, and then I go into the bathroom so that I continuously move. I'm not just sitting there, you know, and I'll brush my teeth, and I will, on my mirror, I have written my affirmations, and I will just, as I'm brushing my teeth or whatever, I will read them. And then on the other side of the mirror, I wrote, it's here, it's here, it's here. So whenever you are manifesting things, you have to believe that it's already here. So after I read that, then I say it's here, it's here, it's here. I'm already programming my brain to think, oh, it's already done, right? And I do this twice a day. So I do this morning and I do that night actually as well. So whenever you do that, that's already, okay, you're setting your mind up for, okay, positive things, right? You're thinking positively. Now, since I mostly work from home, I always get ready. So I'll do my hair, I'll do my makeup, all the things just to walk 2 feet down the hall and go into my office because it puts me in a position to serve because I feel better, right? Now, of course, there are a couple days here and there where I take off or whatever and I don't do that, and that's okay, you know, and I give myself some time. But 5 days, 5 or 6 days at least out of the week, mostly 7 most of the time, to be honest, just because it makes me feel so good, I get up and I get ready and I'll do all my things, right? And then I'll come into my office. Now, whenever I come into my office, I will take my oils. So, and I have, okay, so I have In Tune, which is the focus blend, and I have frankincense, which everybody knows about Frank, right? And then I will rub In Tune on my temples, on the back of my neck. In Tune, like I said, it's a focus blend, so it really helps you focus and get motivated, ready for the day. Frankincense, I take 2 drops under my tongue, along with copaiba as well, but that's downstairs. So I'll put 2 drops under my tongue, and I will, keep going about my day. So what I do why I do that with frankincense, if you're new to this, it helps with your mood, it helps with cellular support, all the things, and it being consistent with it, So it's setting myself up for a good day in my mind, right? And in my body. So sometimes after I get ready and before I come into my office, I will actually go downstairs and I'll do like 5 to 15 minutes of yoga. And I do this about 3 times a week because it just, again, helps get your body moving, things of that sort, and it promotes release of whatever you need to relieve. And it's just a good thing to do. So I do that about 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Really just depends on what I'm feeling. But even when I'm not feeling like it, I still do it if I need to get it done because I know I'm going to feel better after. So it's just like going to the gym and working out, things of that sort. So then I'll come into my office after that and I will meditate for about 5 minutes. And sometimes longer. If I don't do yoga, I might meditate a little bit longer. Like, I don't try to make this like a 2-hour long process by any means. I try to keep it to about 20 minutes. So I'll come into my office, I'll do some meditation, and then I will kind of just hang out and I will express gratitude and I will thank God, the universe, all the things, for what I want to happen that day. And thanks for waking me up, and I always say, like, use me, use me, use me. And, just allow me to be the vessel and things like that. So whatever you're grateful for and whatever you want to see happen that day, just express gratitude for it. And I mean, this could take a minute, this could take 5 minutes. Like, it's flexible, it doesn't matter. I usually spend about 3 minutes on, expressing gratitude every single morning. And then I will jump into this paper, which I have my morning rituals wrote down. So, and I'm going to share with you some of mine, and you can make up your own based on what your needs are. But I love having this paper because I can just scan through it and pick what I want. And I don't have to continuously think. Like, it's, again, I'm programming myself for success. So it's already done. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to rewrite it every day. So first thing on here is obviously meditation, affirmations, which we've already done. 5 minutes of conversation with the universe and God, whatever. And again, that's the gratitude. And then it says yoga, which I could put on here. So I have all the things that, like, all the options. Then it says embrace being shiny for 30 seconds. So this is basically when I do my visualizations of how I want, like, my future of my life. So, and to be honest, it's about 2 minutes. So what I'll do is because the highest version of Ashley is shiny to me. That's how I feel. Like, I feel radiant, I feel shiny. That is why I have a shiny phone cover. Like, I'm pulling this into myself and reminding myself of this all the time. So I will sit there and I will literally visualize, like, the things that I want to happen or the things that I know are going to happen. So for instance, like hitting diamond within my business, moving out to Colorado, going on all of these, like, trips and things that we want to go on and traveling and all of the things. Like, I will visualize all of this and I will watch myself doing it. So what's even more powerful is whenever you watch yourself from a third party position, third person, that's it. Still a little early. Okay, so whenever you watch yourself from a third person, like, your subconscious is like, oh, like, this is actually happening. Like, you've already done this. So it's a lot more powerful whenever you do it that way. And again, I will spend 2 minutes. You can spend longer. I do this frequently throughout the day, like, just as a habit. So I'll do that and I will feel it. I'll feel all the emotions of gratitude, joy. And I'll be honest with you, I cry more now because I'm like excited, or because it's like almost like this confirmation that it's already happened and it's already like coming into my life, than anything else. So I'll just be like doing this and I'll just start crying and I'm just like, okay, like whatever. So you might, and that's the thing, you want to attach yourself to the emotions of how you're going to feel when you accomplish those things that you want to accomplish, because that's what's going to bring it closer to you. So feeling those emotions, and again, this does not happen overnight, but it's going to happen a lot faster if you do this, right? So, because you're focusing on what you want to bring in. So I'll do that. And again, I'll embrace being shiny. And you can use that if you want. If you want to be shiny, that's totally fine. It's super helpful because then you kind of picture yourself being like radiant, right? And now all the things that I go around, like literally, I was thinking, you know what? I need a shiny phone case to just remind me that I am shiny. I am shiny. And I actually got this at Five Below. And I walked into Five Below and I seen it and I was like, oh my God. I totally just manifested that into my reality. Like, I didn't even like, I wasn't thinking, like, I wasn't even looking for it, put it that way. And now, so my little 3-year-old will like look at this and he'll go, you're shiny. And I'm like, oh, thank you, universe. Like, it's like just a confirmation, like, thanks. Like, so again, just doing that and embracing that, embracing visualization for 2 minutes every day. Then the next thing I say is I read my new energetic rules. So I created energetic rules for myself. And again, this was from Catherine Zankina, Manifestation Babe, whenever I took her Rich Babe Academy course. And this was one of the things to do. And I did it and it's been amazing. So my new rules that I have set for myself, and we call them energetic rules because we're putting it out there as to what we want. And it doesn't always happen overnight, but everything has to be formed on an energetic level before it comes into your reality. So things could be 10 minutes, things could be a month, things could be, a year. Like it all depends on what you're asking for too, but it's effective. So I'll just kind of give you a couple ideas of my new rules. So one of my rules is I pay my bills a month in advance. I attract clients who are ready to up-level their life. So basically, right in this one, I created like a specific client that I wanted to attract into my business. So if you have another business, or like you're like a certain, whatever type of business you have, or whatever clients you want to attract, or whatever, or type of work you want to attract, like you would just customize this to you. Like if you're a real estate agent, like I want to attract someone that is selling their $500,000 house, like whatever. Or I want to attract someone who is like mine, like ready to up-level their life, blah, blah, blah. So just tailor it. And the more detailed you are, the better it's going to turn out. Because if you just say, I want to attract more clients, like, they're just going to be like, okay, like here, and they might just send you clients, but it might not be effective, right? Or you might not get what you want. So you have to be very specific. And then I say, I travel 6 times a year with my family. I always give more than expected. Every time I spend money, it comes back into my bank account. I have 6+ Reiki clients a week. I have a nanny to help me out 2 times a week. I believe I have it. And then I say it's already fucking done. So I'm just claiming it. I'm claiming it right there. And again, this was from Catherine's Manifestation Babe course, or I'm sorry, Rich Babe course. So that can be anything you want it to be, or your new rules. And you can say them as many times a day as you want. Like, it doesn't matter, but at least once. So, all right. So then I will do, this is something really powerful that I'm excited to share with you guys because I can't tell you the, okay. So basically, in this, again, this was from Rich Babe as well, but whenever you are up-leveling your life and you are trying to pull more things in your life, again, everything has to be on an energetic, mental level first. So for me right now, I am working on normalizing, say $30,000 a month. I'm working on normalizing that because that's how you bring it to your reality. So whenever I, how do I explain this? Okay, basically, what I do every morning, this is just what I do, is I have this notebook, and I write the date every morning, and then I write $1,000. And I mentally spend $1,000 each day. And I do this because I'm normalizing it. I'm normalizing 30K months, because then my brain's going to start looking for ways to bring that into my reality. So if I'm just like, oh, I'm just throwing a number out there and like I don't know what I'm going to do with it, right? Then what good's that? So this is why, and your brain's not going to look for ways to, and then you're not also asking, oh, I just want more money, because then you could walk by a penny and the penny will be like, here you go, like, and the universe will be like, okay, check, or your subconscious will be like, check, it's done. And that was a very powerful thing that I learned from Catherine as well, because I mean, honestly, like, that's not what we were probably asking for, right? So again, setting yourself up for success. So even if it's something like, okay, I want to make an extra $100 a day, like you can just write $100. And what I do personally is I donate 10% of it every morning, because whenever you do that, like, your giving is going to put you in alignment with abundance. So I'm all about that. Now, whatever number you pick, it doesn't matter. You don't want to pick something that's like, I mean, like $1 million a month. Like, you don't want to do that. You want to make it so that it seems possible for you, and then you can always upgrade it. So once you hit that, then you can just, okay, now I'm going to normalize the next level that I want, right? So basically what I do is I will, again, spend that $1,000. Now, I've done a lot of cool things over these last months that I've been doing this, and the one thing I did was, whenever you are mentally spending money, right, your brain thinks like, oh, that's what you're doing, and so it will literally like find things, and you're literally like manifesting into your reality. So whenever this was maybe a month ago or so, I was spending money on our Disney trip that we want to take Carter on. And I had, on paper bought the tickets that day. And within an hour and a half, I went on Facebook, and there was, on my paper too, I said that I wanted a travel agent. And on my paper, that's what it said. And I went on Facebook, and in one of our local groups, there was a lady that had said, oh, she's a Disney travel agent, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, universe. So this was kind of like what I drew in. And I was like, well, this is very interesting. So I took that as a sign. And obviously I contacted her. And if you're watching this, Elena, hi. But anyways, so it was funny because things like this happen to me all the time. Anyways, so I met her, and now it's like, it's coming into fruition. So again, just putting yourself out there that way, like mentally, because if you are so closed off, like, that's what you're going to feel like every day, right? You're just going to feel closed off. Well, but if you're mentally doing this on a mental level, like, you're putting your mind in a position to bring it into your reality, right? So if you're putting it out there that, well, I am broke, I can't afford to do this, I can't afford to do that, like, that's all you're going to attract into your reality, right? So again, manifestation, I mean, this is what it is. So, okay, so then the next thing that I do after that too, what I always, every day, I check my bank account with gratitude, and I will write the number, like, whatever down or whatever, and I'll just say thank you for this amount of money in my checking account, like whatever, or my savings account, like whatever, and I'll just like have gratitude for it. Even if it's not, the $100,000 or the whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it's low, it doesn't matter if it's high, just thank the universe for it. So then the next thing I do is, and again, this is not something that I do every day. Like, there's a couple things on here that I don't do every day. but I have them on here for when I want to jump into something else. So I also have options of like gratitude rant page, which I usually do like throughout the day, so it's not really in the morning. 10 to 20 minutes of wealth consciousness. So again, podcast, things like that. I'll usually do this while I'm, in the morning while I'm working or whatever. And then I say, thank you, ego, for staying quiet today. Universe, surprise me with your unexpected miracles. And I say that every day, every morning. Because whenever you are up-leveling yourself and up-leveling your mornings and your life and things, your ego is going to try to bring you back to your emotional home. And we don't want that. So we want to express gratitude and thank it for staying quiet. And it gets the hint after a while. It doesn't happen all the time. And every once in a while, like if you slip, and you kind of are just like tired or whatever, like it can sneak up on you. So you want to be aware of that. And then I do castle hunt. So basically, one of my goals is one of our goals actually is to own a castle in Europe one day, and within about the next 5-6 years or so. And we want to, we just want to have a castle over there. So for me, back, like, I was feeling really like stuck. Probably about 4 months ago, I was just having like, an out of alignment type of thing. And I was like, I need some motivation. And I just started Googling like castles for sale in Europe. And I was just like, whatever. And I came across this apparently real estate agency or whatever. And I somehow subscribed for them. I don't even know how this happened. But all of a sudden I started getting like daily emails from them, like, oh, 6 new castles on the market, blah, 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 blah. And now every day when I wake up, I go on and I check my email, after this, and I will just look through the castles and I'll be like, oh my gosh, and Kevin said that he wants a castle only if it has a moat. And he said, actually, he's like, I want it to have 2 moats. I want it to have a small moat and I want it to have a moat, bigger than, or like on the very outside. So 2 moats. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's probably never going to happen. And honest to God, guys, I clicked on my email or, the castle email, probably what was this, like 2 weeks ago or so. There was a castle with 2 freaking moats. And I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't believe it. Well, I could because I was like, you totally manifested this. But anyways, it was just funny. And it's just amazing, like how powerful your mind is. And nothing is on accident. Nothing's a coincidence. Like the universe is and God is like showing you, like what's possible. So it was pretty amazing to see that. And he was all excited. And I was like, well, maybe in 5 years, hopefully it'll be for sale again. But anyways, so putting your mind in that space and like giving yourself something to be excited for as well. And being clear on what you're drawing in. And obviously Kevin was very clear on what he wanted and it showed up. So anyways, okay, so I do the castle hunt. And then the last thing I do is I actually started tapping. So if you've not heard of this, it's called Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT. And you can go onto YouTube and click and search Brad Yates. And he has thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. So you can tap for anything. And basically it's like you're tapping like here, like on certain points on your face. And you're releasing whatever you have to release. And I'll tell you, this has been so freaking powerful for me. And I mean, I've done a lot of things as far as like trying to release out of alignments and blocks, if you want to call them that, and negative or resistance, mostly resistance. And I started tapping and immediately I felt better, like literally immediately. It was amazing. So you can tap for better health. You can tap for clearing resistance. You could tap for more abundance. You can tap for money, a tap for stopping yourself. Like go on his website and there are tons, or on his YouTube channel, and there are tons of things like you can just type in what you want and Like there's stuff for jealousy, there's stuff for like rank advancing, like all of the things, right? And if you're in doTERRA, side note, there isn't actually rank advancing for doTERRA one. It's amazing. So, and that's actually how one of the girls, she built the presidential diamond from tapping because she had so much resistance. So it's pretty amazing. And so that's kind of what I end with. And then I will go downstairs and I will get my iced coffee and come back up and start my day. And that's about it. So again, this might seem like a lot, but you see like some things like some things only take like 10 seconds, you know. And I'll say that probably it takes me about 20 minutes to get through my morning routine. And you have to be consistent with it. If you only do this once a week, twice a week, like you are not going to get results. I'll be honest with you. And I mean, repetition is the mother of all skill. And you will start seeing results, and then you will be addicted to, you know, continuing to do that. So, and that was my case, you know, I had to find what worked for me and it stuck. So this works for me and it stuck. And now if I don't do it, like, and I can't even tell you the last time I actually haven't done it since January, really. But whenever you don't do it, like you'll know and you'll feel different. And again, so this is setting yourself up for the rest of your day. And not just your day, but your family's day, your coworkers' day, like whatever. And pouring into yourself first thing in the morning is like the best thing that you can do. And there's always time. So, and anytime anybody says I don't have the time, I just kind of laugh because I didn't either and I created it, right? So you have to create that time for yourself. It's not just going to show up. And maybe you have to get rid of some other things that you're doing, you know. Maybe like you are sitting there watching the news for 30 minutes every morning. Well, there you go. There's your time, right? And you're going in a completely better direction than filling yourself with that. So yeah, this is just my morning routine. This is just my advice for you guys. If you want to steal any of it, that's totally fine. And then again, just podcast throughout the day to keep, you know, just keep your mind right. And whatever else you need to dive into. You can also set an affirmations app on your phone, which is what I have too. And like my affirmations will pop up throughout the day, like 3 times a day. It doesn't have to be crazy. I had it 8 before and I kept missing them. So I set it to 3 and now it's more effective for me. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope this helped you. Please leave comments below if you have questions about this. And at some point I am going to create a like a PDF file of like all the things so that you can kind of check it out and save it. And again, alter it to your needs or just do what I do. So, all right, well, have a great rest of your day, guys. And I will talk to you later.